Hello, Carol here with a little video about some sewing accessories. I bought these from a cheap craft shop when I was with my daughters, so we're having two each. So I've got one oval and one square to work with. So I think it was under €1 for each set. And on mine, I would like to do some collage. So I'm looking through some images. The biggest challenge working with this is that they are mini boxes, so I'm really quite limited by the size of the images that I can have on there. So I just start by cutting out some possibilities. So I have some images from this old encyclopedia, which is quite handy because all the images are fairly small in there. But I do collage anyway, so I do keep interesting images just as a matter of course. If I see something I like, I do keep it. Collage is really good fun and it's very inexpensive. It's handy to have a scalpel, a good pair of scissors and some glue, and that's it. And you can get images. These days we are inundated with images, so you can make some really interesting things. So it's playing around with composition and colour and scale. Since this is a quick project, I'm trying to limit myself with the time and the resources, so I'm not allowing myself to sift through tons and tons of magazines. I am forcing myself to use limited materials and make relatively quick choices. In this encyclopedia they had some examples of older wallpapers. I didn't read the section because I just didn't want to get distracted, and I'm terrible for going off on tangents. I would like to make them look a bit like a set, like they go together. So I've cut out the old wallpaper and I found these yellow gloves that I got slightly obsessed with. I thought, oh, these must go on. So that changed the direction of things a little bit. I think you just know when you see something that you really like and it has to go on there. And they were just the perfect size for these little boxes. I couldn't find any varnish, but I did find this wood stain, so I tried this out and was a bit disappointed to see how red it looked. That'll have to do. Just like the sewing and the embroidery, you're working with your hands, you have that tactile contact with the paper that I really love. So once I have a choice of images, I play around with them on the surface that I have. I've got my background on there. I've got two old-fashioned wallpapers on each box, which I'm liking, and I'm thinking it makes it coherent. It makes it look like a set. And I found some text that I thought was a good size. It says "Amusons-nous," which I translate as "Let's have fun." I have two mouths cut out, but one of them looks like a singing mouth and another one looks more like a laughing, smiling mouth. So to go with the text, I decided to put on the laughing, smiling, amusons-nous mouth. And then, of course, I had to fit on one of the yellow gloves. So I'm making quick decisions and I've decided that that's what I'm having. And once the decision's made, I'm going to stick it down. Now I have bought proper Decoupage glue. This is supposed to dry transparent, so it is a product made for this purpose. That's what I'm trying to say. It's made for this purpose. So I can put the glue on underneath and on the top, and you can even do a few different coats of this special glue on the top to give it more and more coats of like a varnish, really. So this was €3 something for the pot, and actually you don't need much at all, and I'm really pleased that I bought this. I have tried this before many years ago and I used normal kind of glue, but I really did find this a good product. Second box done in the same way. This similar wallpaper type thing. and then finding some images that can go onto it. So I wanted to include the yellow glove, and then I cut out this monkey that was on a label for some wine. Now I really like this composition, but just it's too vulgar. Come on now, Carol. And I've got other things to choose from. And in the end, I cut out these old-fashioned figures. I really like the composition of these two people standing with their hands on the hips. I found a little bit of text as well. This is the make of something, but in English, focus is a pertinent word for me. And I do find myself drawn to texts that have a meaning to me anyway. So I get it all stuck down. And now I hear you saying, well, this has nothing to do with sewing accessories, except that my idea was to have something transportable with me to put in particular pins in, because when you pick up a little pin cushion or you have pins hanging off anything and you put it on your bag, all the pins come out, and I wanted to make something transportable for needles and pins. So just before I do that, I am putting a few highlights and lowlights onto these figures, just because they didn't stand out as much as I would have liked on this blue background. So I'm just using a Posca pen, and then I'll use a white gel pen after. Since I haven't had a better idea than the wood stain, I'm just wood staining the square box. So now to incorporate a little pincushion, I've just drawn around the box lid and cut out an oval shape with this normal felt from the children's department. Now I don't want to make the box lid into one big pincushion because I'm going to have to get the box lid onto the box. So I'm just going to cut out this circle in the middle and position it in the middle. You probably didn't really need to cut a hole in the middle. You could have done it just with whole piece, but I thought that this might adhere to the box lid a bit better. So this is the material I am using for the pincushion part. I'm just sewing all the way around with long stitches and stuff in the middle with some stuffing. Then putting on a little cardboard circle that I cut out, just to keep everything nice and flat. And then I'm just sewing some relatively big stitches, but you can't see them from the other side. So I'm just using this tacky glue, which seemed to work absolutely fine for sticking the felt to the top. And voila! Fini! 2 little boxes. So in this one, I've just put a felt top because I think it's easier to be able to pick up some pearls when there's some sort of fabric that stops them rolling around so much. And then the second little box that has the little pin cushion on the lid. Just enough room to fit in your thimble. I like to keep my needles and pins apart, so I've made this little green felt circle. And then when you're on the train or just out and about, use it as a normal pin cushion. And then when you want to put everything away, you can just slide it in more to the side, so you can have more room to put things in the little box. And there we go. Lots of fun to make. Thanks for watching.